anytime you're on the water, there's an opportunity to learn. And that's the way I got to approach this, because nobody in the world knows everything there is to know about fishing.
You are now watching Blakely Feed and Seeds coverage of iCast 2024. Make sure you like and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell so that you'll see just how many videos we're releasing from this one place. All right, Colin, we're heading to see Drew Benton.
Yep.
Local guy. I mean, you know, he lives in Blakely. So
From Panama City, lives in Blakely now.
I know he's over at Spro. Hey, there it is, Spro, right there. So we love Drew Benton, man. He is the guy we pull for a lot, mainly because he's local. I believe I see him right there.
I do.
Look at there. What's up? Are we interrupting anything? All right, good deal. I mean, look at that camera. Wow. Hey,
You need a job?
hey, that's his. Look at this. That's his camera. And I wish you could see our camera. Ours is like one of those big old deals hanging out. We're rolling right now, as a matter of fact. Yeah. Well, the guys, this is Drew Benton, and he's like our favorite guy because he's a local guy and an awesome fisherman. Tell us how you ended up in Blakely, like, because you're not from Blakely.
No. So I grew up, born and raised in Panama City, Florida. We had Hurricane Michael come through, and it kind of turned everybody's lives upside down.
It even has turned us upside down in Blakely. I don't know, did you know that at the time?
I mean, we looked at places to be closer to the lake. I wanted to be closer to Lake Seminole, closer to Lake Eufaula, and we found Blakely, a place right there in between.
Yeah.
And I had a little farm there. Enjoyed a deer hunt.
Well, I was fixing to say, what y'all might not know, because you guys watch him do a lot of fishing and that kind of thing, but
He
that,
does kill the biggest deer in Early County.
yeah,
He's very modest about it, though.
he loves the deer hunt, you know.
And matter of fact, right before I come here, I stopped by and got another 10 bags, iron clay peas, and put them in the ground.
Yeah.
And fed some protein. So yeah,
He enjoys it. He loves it so much. He's out there in the heat. Sometimes it's hot deer hunting, you know, until the later, when they really, I guess when they go into rut, it's usually getting a little cooler. But we see you here every year at the show. And what kind of, like, you're at the Spro tent, you're sponsored by Spro. Can you show us a little bit about, like, what's a new product out by Spro or something you use, or maybe, I don't know, we could do a little tip or something?
yeah, absolutely. So Spro is, in my opinion, one of the biggest small tackle companies there is. It's still owned by the same people that founded it, but if you look behind me, it's some of the stuff they have. They've expanded their line. They're making reels now. They're making rods.
Oh, reels. I did not know that.
Line, baits. They got tackle storage. You name it.
Hey, show us a reel, because that's new? I mean, okay.
So this is the new JC Elite. JC stands for Jason Christie. Maybe you heard of him, maybe you hadn't. It's one of the best anglers on the Elite series right now. Super smooth reel. You would think that a company coming out with a reel for the first time, you might think would just be a value priced reel. This thing is right up there with a $500 price point reel, but it's not at that price point. It's super smooth. It's got a good drag built in it. I was talking to him this morning. He's casting a topwater almost 90 yards with this reel. It's so smooth. And they also have, their entry level $120 price point reels as well.
What would be the price point of that reel?
I'd have to ask somebody. They just released them, so I don't know the prices on them yet. I know this one's kind of been out a little bit longer, and it's like I said, an entry level $120 reel.
And spinning reels too.
Yeah, spinning reels too. So the drag system's really great on that.
And that's carbon fiber too. That's light.
Carbon fiber handle, yep.
Yeah.
One thing that everybody's always struggled with is a good way to keep your spinner baits here, your wild.
I believe that. It is hard to figure that out.
And this little zipper box keeps them dry, keeps them, easy to go through and see what you got, snaps in there.
But I notice it snaps in because it don't fall out, because that's been my biggest thing is a lot of times it's just a slice. You put it in there, you flip it over, and it's like gone.
They're still sitting just right. Just like,
man, dude, we gotta bring this in.
That bounces around in your boat. You can open it right up and get what you need. All your terminal tackle, it's they're teamed up with Gamakatsu on a lot of this stuff. So there's a lot of cross promotion there, cross build.
I didn't even know they did hard baits. Like, we sell a lot of the chrome. I mean, like, that is like our number one selling frog we sell. I had no idea they had any of them.
This is a shorter popping cork. I like that. It's going to fit in my tackle box easier.
This is a mixed stick designed by Mike McClellan, big jerkbait fisherman. This is a smaller version. In our area, our region, a small crankbait is hard to beat, especially on the river, Chattahoochee River. This is, I believe they're calling it the micro. It's designed by John Cruz.
Tell us how you'd fish that, if you don't mind. We're going to get a little tip. One of the best.
This bait here, anytime there's current flowing on the river, all those fish are sitting up tight to the bank in eddies or sitting in slough mouths.
How deep?
You want to be on the bank. So the way you want to fish this, you want this making contact with the bottom at all times. Or majority of the time. If not the bottom, you want it making contact with a tree that's laying down. Something the fish can get behind.
You're going to get hung up, I would guess.
Occasionally, but that's the beauty of this bait. As long as you don't put too big of hooks on there, that bill's going to come over there and those hooks never make contact.
Ah, man, I would not have thought of that.
So that's what the beauty of a lot of these crankbaits are. Now, if you get an aggressive diver like this, you don't want to throw this one super shallow, because when it comes over something, it's got a lot bigger bill to overcome that. That will get you hung up. But a smaller bill, square bill.
Right. And what depth will that run once it gets on out?
This will actually run 5 to 6 foot on a 12-pound line. Yeah.
Okay.
But I like to throw it on about 15 because, you're fishing around heavy cover. You got to kind of force them out of some of that stuff on.
Right.
And that'll get you a lot of bites.
I've fished my whole life, but I don't understand it the way you understand it. And I know that you spend a lot of time on the water, and that's really where you learn. But you've been doing it since you were a kid, I guess. And then did you literally just take notes as you fished, or did you have somebody who kind of taught you as you went?
You just really have to go. I mean, you can watch. Obviously, you can watch YouTube. You can learn a ton from the internet.
Right.
Living that age, but there is no substitution for time on the water. You got to get out there and put your time in and fish as many different bodies of water under as many different circumstances and weather systems.
I was gonna say, I've started tracking, so I like to bait fish a lot. So I've started writing down and keeping a journal of when I have good days. Was it what time was it in the morning? Where was the tide at? What was the moon phase? I mean, what was the wind and which way was it coming from? And all those different areas. At least for that, is that kind of like
absolutely, and probably if I wasn't on the water so much and it wasn't so fresh on my mind, I probably would be better off writing it down like that. And that's a good way to keep.
But you're because it's your job.
Yeah,
it's what you're doing.
I'm probably on the water 280 to 300 days out.
Right. That is crazy.
To some extent, whether it be just about a couple hours or I go down to the lake to test a bait or so, whatever the case may be. We're working on some new soft plastics for Spro, and I'm getting constant samples where I'll take them down and look at them in the water. I mean, and even though I'm going down there to test the bait, I might take note of how the grass is growing.
Right.
Bait, anytime you're on the water, there's an opportunity to learn, and that's the way you got to approach this. Because nobody in the world knows everything there is to know about fishing. I don't care if they're the most seasoned veteran or the top in the world. They don't know everything yet.
That's right.
They're always able to.
Well, it seems like it's always changing too. New technologies come out, and then the old fishermen, whatever that's using the old technology or whatever, it still might work for them somewhat. But as new technologies come out, it just gives you a different way to approach it.
Guy miles when we were coon hunting all the time. Mr. Dale, when dog collars got to where you could track them on GPS, we all got it. And then we had this one old guy we hunted with. He still used the beeper collars, the old satellite, and he could find your dog better than the GPS. You could know exactly where it was, what road it was beside, and that beeper collar would still get there. I don't know what it was. He just knew how to use it, though.
Yeah, that's
another thing, by technology, you're probably talking about live scope.
Yep.
That's what's taking our sport.
I was going to ask you, are you using that?
We have no choice.
No choice. Okay.
To be competitive, you have to be casting at a fish more times than not today. It's just, you have to play the odds, keep your bait in front of the fish. If you're not, you're behind. But to say that, I'll say this. That frog right there is way more fun to fish than throwing it up on that last spool.
Okay.
Anytime I can catch them on a popping frog, that's it's that bronze-eye frog.
Yeah.
Hands down, I will not look at that screen for the rest of the day to right.
Because it's more. Yeah, I understand. You get to.
You're more in tune with what's going on. You're seeing the fish strike. There's no more exciting.
That's awesome. Well, man, we appreciate you giving us this interview. I don't know. There's actually some other brands or people, sponsoring you. We might get another interview with you a little later. But you got another question about?
I know you got a YouTube channel. What's your YouTube channel so people can go subscribe to that?
So Drew Cook and I, we've been doing it for a few years now. It's called The Cut Line. It's a little bit of behind the scenes. We have a guy that follows us all year long, shoots behind the scenes at the elite events, shoots us during practice, how we break down the lake, and then how the event shapes out for us.
Awesome.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Hey, for Spro, that's a wrap.